Chapter 75 The number one person missing in the spirit fighting arena, Tang San. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With such a good opportunity, why didn't he take action? Instead, he just stood there motionless. Don't know. Why don't you leave this place here to finish your work? Aren't you afraid that you'll lose your horse riding skills? That the audience couldn't understand Tang San's current behavior, and were even a little dissatisfied. Now the man in black robe was tightly wrapped in blue silver grass, like a rice dumpling. Tang San didn't take this opportunity to seal the victory and end the spirit fight. Instead, Chu was in the middle of the field, not knowing what he was thinking about. Of course they didn't know that Tang San didn't seem to care about so much anymore. Just now, when he touched his pants, he already felt a warm feeling, not only on my hands, but now I can also feel it on my thighs. Even a foul smell has quietly spread. It's just that the space in the great soul fighting arena is very wide, and the air circulation is very good. Only he can smell it now. The audience is still far away, so naturally they can't feel any breath. However, the man in black robe who was breaking free from the blue silver grass smelled a strange smell. Worried that the blue silver grass might release toxins, he immediately held his breath. However, the strength in his hands continued to increase, and the inner layer of blue silver grass began to crack. Now Tang San had two choices before him. The first option is to completely defeat the opponent in front of you, but he will definitely have to move around on a large scale. If this happens, his image will definitely not be preserved. Maybe he will become famous in one battle. After all, he was very thin when he participated in the soul fighting. This is the first person in history. If it doesn't work out, it will just go into the history books. There is also a second option, which is to simply admit defeat and slowly walk off the ring. In this case, even though you lose the battle soul, you can still save your face. No one would notice what he was doing. At this moment, Flanders in the audience frowned slightly. From his perspective, he was behind Tang San. He didn't know why this kid suddenly stopped and froze on the spot. Dai Mubai and others who were standing in the audience were also a little confused. This time Tang San was not crushed, but it was within their expectations. A group of 25-level Great Soul Masters were crushed by a 23-level Great Soul Master. From now on, Tang San will go out as soon as possible, let alone Shrek Academy. They couldn't afford to lose this guy. How are the arrangements for the fighting spirit going? Flanders, who was wondering, suddenly heard a voice coming from beside him. Then a middle-aged man sat in the empty seat next to him. Hearing such a familiar voice, Flanders answered directly without turning his head. It's all arranged. Tang San is the first one and is on the field now. The person sitting next to Flanders was Xiaogang. He had just come out of the toilet, now feeling refreshed and looking much better. Oh, Xiaogang raised his eyes and immediately saw Tang San standing in the center of the field and the man in black robe in front of him who was wrapped like a rice dumpling. This is Tang San's true strength. Judging from the situation on the field, this spirit fight should be over soon. Xiaogang nodded with great satisfaction. The situation on the field was very obvious. He was very satisfied with Tang San's performance. He just went to the toilet, and Tang San was almost done with the battle. Speaking of which, Xiaogang found that he and Tang San were eating the same meal. He had just returned from the toilet after running around for a long time, but Tang San was fine. And he is still very active in the spirit fighting field. Sure enough, everyone's physique is different. Young people are in good health. As expected of Xiaogang's disciple. It's almost like I had the demeanor back then. Xiaogang touched his chin, his lips almost uncontrollable. This means that the soul fighting is not over yet. He is now waiting for the host to announce the result, and then directly talks about it. Flanders next to him sneered, with a look of disgust on his face. Those who didn't know thought that Tang San had defeated some powerful opponent. His opponent's soul power was a full 2 levels lower than Tang San's. Moreover, looking at the situation on the field now, it is hard to say what the outcome will be. Now Tang San has been standing there for 30 seconds without moving. No one knew what happened to him. At this time, the smile on Xiaogang's face gradually faded. He also noticed something was wrong on the field. Tang San's opponent was controlled by blue-silver grass, so he didn't move. But why didn't Tang San move? With this time, we can completely seal the victory. Xiaogang's grin almost froze, and he didn't wait for the host to announce victory. At the same time, Tang San, who was standing in the center of the spirit fighting arena, held up the Shrek mask on his face. The final decision has already been made in my mind. Tang San would definitely not be willing to let him give up the victory he had obtained. He simply wore a mask on his face. Although he was a little embarrassed, it was not his own face that was embarrassed. The pressure in Tang San's heart suddenly eased a lot. Xian Tiangong operates rapidly, and the ghostly shadow of Xian Yu's hand is released instantly. The distance between the two was not far, and in the blink of an eye Tang San arrived in front of the black-robed man, grabbing the ladder with both hands. He controlled the crane and captured the dragon to release it. The man bound by the blue-silver grass was immediately lifted up by Tang San. He swung it hard, and a parabola passed through the air, and he threw it directly. As long as he falls below the stage, Tang San can win immediately, but due to the excessive range of motion, shadows are now appearing on the pants. Tang San had already calculated, after the host announced his victory. He left the scene quickly and went straight to the toilet. There was a change of clothes on the 24th bridge on a moonlit night, so he simply packed them away. The man in black robe has arrived at the edge of the soul fighting arena and is about to leave. Under the mask, the corners of Tang San's mouth raised slightly. Although there were some accidents, they were always under his control. Bang! At the critical moment, the blue-silver grass wrapped around the black-robed man suddenly exploded. What? Tang San was shocked and his expression changed. Blue-silver entanglement. Strips of dark green blue-silver grass stabbed towards the man in black robe. He never imagined that his opponent would be able to break free from the shackles of blue-silver grass at the last critical moment. Tang San immediately released blue-silver coil to remedy the situation. Using his soul power, he forcibly stabilized his body. Shua! The black rhinoceros gun was taken back into his hand. With a fierce swing, the blue-silver grass in front of him was cut in half. At the same time, the reverse force caused him, who was on the dangerous edge of the soul fighting stage, to fall steadily back into the ring. Insidious. I bother. The man in black robe spat in the direction of Tang San. In the next second, his body flashed and he rushed towards Tang San with his gun. There was a sound of breaking through the air, and the man in black robe threw out a gun. Tang San was horrified and couldn't dodge, so he could only jump up to avoid the vital parts. Bang! What a coincidence, the gun barrel hit Tang San's butt squarely. Under the gaze of the audience, Tang San was like a grand fireworks display, 1,000 miles away. The first person to emerge in the spirit fighting arena was born.